Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Dare2Share with Mistie Lane. I am your host, Misty. I am the best-selling author of the book, What Goes Up. This is a book about my life, you guys. It's just a raw, honest account of everything I went through, the good, the bad, the ugly, the shameful, all of it. Nothing sugar-coated. It's all about the real, honest truth. Life of a drug addict, life of living in domestic abuse, life living under perfectionism, just the full-on account of everything I've been through up to date. There's a great chapter called COPE, C-O-P-E, which is a 4-step method, COPE equals hope, that will help you overcome and release your toxic shame and guilt. So check out that book for me. You can get it on Amazon or at my website, mistielane.com. Also, I want to invite you to go onto my Facebook page, the Mistie Lane Dare2Share page, and join the private group, #BeThatOne. Be That One is where we encourage each other to step up and share our raw, authentic truth so that we can help each other with our stories and stop judging and start mentoring. So judge less and mentor more. That's how Dare2Share kind of started. Is I needed a place to allow people to step up. I asked them to do it. Now they had nowhere to do it. So I thought, well, we need a show where they can come on and do it now. So that's what Dare2Share is. It's the platform for people to step up and share their truth in hopes of helping other people. Sometimes it's for them. It's just a release for them. But most oftentimes it's a dual combination because it's always helping someone else that's hearing it and receiving it on the other end. All right, my next thing I want to ask you to do is just take 2 quick seconds and share this out for me with your family and friends, your groups. You never know who might need to hear something that's said tonight that could bring them up from a dark spot, that maybe they can relate to something and it might give them some motivation or some inspiration that they can, because we can all overcome our worst to live our best. So that's it for that part. Now we're going to move on to the quick Mistie's Medical Minute. I have a couple of updates for you. From my surgery, I am down 33 pounds. Woo, 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 woo. I'm excited about that. Somehow I thought it was going to go a lot faster and I would just like miraculously be skinny all of a sudden. So that's not happening, but I also know that that's not healthy. So I'm grateful for the loss and I'm grateful that I'm doing it the right way and I've got my vitamins and I haven't been losing my hair. So far, so good. My other corner of the medical minute is a report on my mom. For those of you that have so sweetly followed us and sent prayers and songs and chants and beautiful pictures and all those things. A quick update. My mom is in Houston today, seeing her oncologist. Tomorrow she gets the lumbar injection and that's chemo in her spinal column, 2nd round. And then she also will receive her 6-hour infusion of the chemotherapy, her 2nd round. 1st round took her 12 hours. She got pretty sick. They had to go really slow. They're telling us this time will be much better. It's going to be done as outpatient. I'm thankful to our friend Linda Campbell, who is in town staying at my house to take care of my mom. Just such a selfless act that she's given up her whole life to be here with us. And I just can't thank her enough for that. But so mom is good. Her spirits are high. I'm really proud of her. She did show a lot of courage. I actually shaved her hair off Friday, and I'm really proud of my mom. She's a beautiful, beautiful Italian lady with a lot, and she's very, very vain. So for her to be willing to let me do that was kind of a big deal. So really, really proud of her for that. All right, you guys, I have stalled long enough. We have someone incredible waiting behind the scenes to come on and talk to you guys. So without further ado, I'd like to bring you all the way from down under in Australia, Miss Linda Duong. Hey, Linda.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Misty. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you, beautiful lady?
I'm good, thank you. I want to say hello to everybody. A nice, warm greeting from Sydney, Australia, the place where all the koalas are always eating and sleeping. It's the happiest place to be. And it suits my quote. My quote is, happiness is another form of wealth. It's the most treasured form of wealth. And it's so proven now, isn't it, after this pandemic?
Oh, yeah. And you found your happiness in Australia, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we're going to
This
get
is
into your
home
whole
sweet
story.
home.
Well, we're going to be getting into that story here in just a little bit, but I want to say, first of all, when I mentioned in the opener of the show that I've had people following my mom and doing special little things, you, Linda, are one of those people. I just cannot thank you enough. For those of you watching, Linda was up on a mountaintop and she sang this beautiful chant, a healing chant. And I played it for my mom and it literally brought her to tears. And Linda not only just did it once, but she did it in 2 different speeds. It's supposed to, I guess, help, with whatever. And so my mom just sat very patiently while we were in the hospital and she listened to it. And those little tiny acts of kindness, Linda, that's just who you are. I mean, I don't know you that well, but everything I do know about you is that 100%. So thank you.
My pleasure. I've never done it before. So recently my own father passed away. He's 98 years old and it's quite sudden. And when you're in times of grief, nothing helps. Nothing helps. And I just learned that that's what the Dalai Lama teach, that those few words, simple few chanting those can actually offer healing. And so then I started practicing and I find that it really does help heal a little bit, well, quite a lot for me. And so when I heard that you were with your mom, I just feel called to do it. So I'm glad your mom enjoyed it.
She loved it. And, going back to what you said just now is, I think it's what we allow it to do for us. Some of us, we get those blessings every day and we just choose to cruise right through it. And some of us have learned that we have to slow ourselves down and watch the space around us for those blessings and then choose to let them bring light to us. Right?
Exactly. You articulated so perfectly. And that was exactly how I felt. How I felt was that, there are moments in life that nothing can help externally, but it's got to come internally. And in order for that to happen, you've got to embrace it and allow it. You got to allow it first before anything can come. And that was what happened. And so, it was powerful. It was powerful, especially when you're on the mountaintop. The energy is so divine. The energy is so pure that I cannot even articulate it. I feel bigger than life itself. When you're on top of the mountain and nobody else is there and just yourself and with this free divine energy, it's just, indescribable. It's indescribable. There's so much healing that is from inside out and from the whole universe.
Oh, it's powerful. It's just full power. Yeah. And, I'm kind of doing this out of order, but that's okay because it's a live show and we can do what we want with it like that.
Go with the flow, go with our energy.
That's right. Well, like I always say, I let the audience and I let this be organic and it goes where it's supposed to go. I don't pre-do questions or anything. So, so I'm not on our normal format, but I have to throw this in there right now. So, you recently lost your dad and, grieving 98, that's a long life. I mean, you have to start expecting, when our parents hit their 80s and 90s, they're going to be, we have to be realistic. There are times coming up, right? So, but it doesn't take away the fact that we have to allow ourselves space and time to grieve. Grieving is so important because if we don't get through that process, we don't get the closure. So my question to you is, because I believe this is going to line up with what I'm always saying to people, I hope it will. In your grieving over your dad, when this came up with my mom and you shifted your attention and you shifted your energy to do something good for someone else, did it kind of take some of that off? Did it kind of make that better somehow for you?
It does, and in a very special way. And before I go on, I just want to acknowledge, I want to say hello to Sherry. Hello, Sherry McQueen. Hi, Patty. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you resonate with that, Patty. Yes, it's amazing on the peak of a mountain. It absolutely does. What it does is that, hi, Carol. What it does is that it lets you know that you're not alone. That is the very, very first thing. is that you're not alone going through this journey yourself. And by extending that compassion, that enormous amount of feeling that you're feeling through, hi Jenna, it really allows you to connect not only to yourself, but with others, and with others like-minded or going through the same emotion or going through similar challenges, triumphs in life. It really extends that connection further than you ever know. Like I'm here in Sydney, Australia, and you're in US, you know, and that feeling was so close, you know, it's as if like we were here. And when you did that video to say thank you, I now want to say thank you for that. So you're so beautiful to do that too. We really feel so close, didn't we? You know, when we actually can communicate like that, even just through Messenger, even just a message, you know, I video you, I send you the clip, you send me the clip, you know, it really immediately takes away that feeling that you're on your own. And absolutely, that's where we can share the grief and go through the journey together. Like, you know, my book talks about connection and happiness, right? But no one is exempt. Oh, sorry, here we go again. But no one is exempt from grief in life. And without sadness, we would not know what true happiness is. And it's really human emotions that we go through, all the emotions, you know, from high to low, from low to high. And so in the book, I share what true happiness is. When you lose someone that you so love so dearly, I'm so close to my parents, and I lost them both now. And I lost them both unexpectedly. I took my mother to the airport to go back to Vietnam for holiday, and she never came back. I never got to see her again.
Oh no.
So when you experience something like that, nothing in the world can actually bring you that kind of happiness that you think you would from your name, your fame, your finance, your status, none of those.
Right.
So in the book, I share there's layers of happiness. There's the external layers and there's the internal layers. And that's when you really need to tap into the internal layers. And that's when you really need to access your internal layers of happiness. Otherwise, the external layers just won't do it. It just won't cut it. No matter how many $1 million you give me, I just will not get my mom back. I just will not get my dad back. And so that's when you really need to tap into your internal layers.
Right.
And find the internal layers of happiness. And that's where true happiness resides.
Well, we're going to get into that more into the show, but now we're going to start the show. See, it just kind of took its own path. But now we're going to go back to how we normally start the show, because I don't want to miss out on that part. I like to give the guest a couple of minutes, Linda, just to kind of brag on themselves and shine and talk about all the good things that you're most proud of, the things that your most accomplished moments that you feel are important to you. And I do this because this is a show about overcoming our worst to live our best. This is a show to teach each other that we can live in the future. We don't have to let the adversity we've been through hold us in that rearview mirror. We can move forward. So in order to do that, we have to show that life isn't always rainbows and puppy dog tails wagging and unicorns, right?
Yes.
We're going to start positive by you having a couple of minutes to share your biggest accomplishments. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to start asking you questions, and we're going to start daring to share your story with the world. Okay, Linda?
Sure. Of course. Yes. Well, the biggest accomplishment has to be two things. Number one is my children. I've got a beautiful 13-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy. And they have started their philanthropy journey at the age of 6 and 8. So they started raising funds for the cancer patients. And she started when she was 6 years old and he was 8. And by now, they do it every year. Every year they pick a project. And by now she has raised over $6,000 for the sick children in the hospital. And she was acknowledged by Tamara Hunter as a junior service hero. So I'm so proud of that. The other one is my book. Reason being is because I was born in Vietnam at the end of Vietnam War. I did not even know what a computer looked like. I only seen black and white TV, black and white photo. And at the age of 15, I came to Sydney, Australia without a word of English, not even know what a computer looked like. And so growing up, I was constantly told your English writing is terrible, your grammar is horrible. So I am so proud that I finally wrote the book, and it's been helping a lot of people around the world.
That's awesome, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So that's a perfect segue for us to start in on your story. So why did you why did you move to Australia? What was the reason for it?
So it's a very common reason with a lot of immigrants is for a better life, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So Vietnam is pretty poor country. And my sister is one of those boat people. Yeah. So she left early in the 70s, and she was a refugee, and she got rescued and came to Australia. And then years later, she worked hard to sponsor us. So I came as an immigrant. So I was lucky to come on a plane when she had to come on a boat.
Right.
So, so there's this name that she's one of these boat people. I don't know if you know the boat people.
Yeah, the boat refugees. So you were 15 when you came across to Australia?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, I was 15.
So I'm going to ask because this is where my mind goes, okay? Because I was once a 15-year-old girl.
Sure.
And by 15, I'm pretty sure I thought I had already fallen in love with a boy, some boy by then, right? So how, 15, we're stars, we have love in our eyes. We're in love with love. Yeah. So here you are uprooting from everything you've ever known. Did you have a love interest? Did you think your world was ending, or were you in such a bad place you were looking forward to the change?
That's such a great question. Now you're bringing my memory back. I never even thought about it. Such a great question. I have not ever thought about it, and the memory is almost like gone. But now that you just reminded me, I actually did started knowing a boy.
Uh-huh. See, I knew it.
In Vietnam, life was really basic. When you first start talking that, you're starting having boys, I'm thinking, did I even have that? And actually, I did have. There was a boy who had eyes on me, and we kind of I was really shy because back then it's really different than here. Here people are a lot more open. Back then I was so shy, I barely talk. And of course, there's a boy in the neighborhood, and he was trying to ask me out. It's so funny you're asking this question. I never ever thought about it before. I'm blushing now.
Don't blush. It's life. I think it's cute.
I've never talked about this with anybody.
Let's dare to share. That's what we do.
Yeah. I'm blushing now. So there was a boy in the neighborhood, and he was trying to ask me out, and I was so shy. And I think in the end we did kind of went out once or twice, and then I had to come. And so that was a bit sad. But that was the boy. But the minute I came here, that was just out the window.
Yeah.
That was just out the window, because you imagine I did not even know what a computer looked like. So there's no email, there's no YouTube, there's no outside world. I have not even seen what a world map looked like. I have not even seen a globe model of the world. Growing up, I did not even have color pencils. So if you could just close your eyes and imagine a black and white world, that's how I grew up. Growing up, I watched black and white TV. I saw only black and white photos until some years later, my sister came here and sent some photos home. And it was the first time I seen someone with blonde hair, blue eyes, and it blew my mind away. I was thinking, wow, is this? What is Australia? What's America? And I was starting to get really curious and really fascinated. So after I came here, my whole world changed. I was in complete shock, everything shocked, as you could imagine. I couldn't speak the language. I had no friends. I couldn't go anywhere because I had come.
Hang on, I have to interrupt you real quick. So your sister was already here, correct?
That's right. So she sponsored us. That's right. So she sponsored us. So I came as an immigrant on the plane.
your parents came with you or just you?
Yes. No, my parents came with me. My
Any other
parents
siblings?
and yes, and a few other siblings
Okay.
came with me. Yes.
Okay.
The 3 older siblings couldn't come. We have a large family. I'm one of the 10 kids, 5
Oh
boys and
my
5
gosh.
girls, and I'm
And
the second last one.
wow.
And the 4 older ones couldn't come. The
Okay.
3 older ones are married, have their own family, so they couldn't come. We came as under the status of uniting with the family. So my sister sponsoring my parents, and because we were under 21 at the time, it was under 21, that is still under the parents' care. So that's how we came to under the status of uniting the family. So the
Okay.
one who's already married can't come with us.
Right.
And so the minute I came, all of the friendships, anything like that, boy, girls is out the window because it was survival mode. You know, like you don't know the country, you don't have any friends. I can't even speak a word of English. And to make it worse, I can't go anywhere because I had extreme motion sickness. I couldn't even get on the bus or a car. I would get so sick. So
Because
I
you've
was,
never been on anything automated, right?
pardon?
Because y'all probably didn't have any buses or cars where you
We
grew up.
didn't have any car. We did have the very old bus, but it's nothing like the one here. Just really small van,
Yeah.
right? Really old, no glass window as such, if you could imagine. I just could not get on it because I would get so sick. So then, therefore, I was literally grounded at home every day, pretty much. And so after I came here, I had to go to school. I had to go to school to learn English. So I had to go what you call ESL, English as second
Second
language.
language, right.
And I would not get on the bus because I would get too sick. So I would walk to school a whole hour long. Doesn't matter if it's rain, sunny, hot day, because some days in summer could get really hot in Australia. We could get up to 40 degrees Celsius.
You
And
know, our parents told us growing up, or at least mine did. I always
yes,
heard those stories when I would want something like, I need a cell phone. I want
yeah,
a game. I want this.
yeah,
My parents would say things like, oh, I used to have to walk 2 miles to school in the
yeah,
snow. Da, da,
yes.
da, da. And you're thinking, yeah, right. Like that never really happened. But for you, that was the truth, wasn't it?
That was what I did. And I still remember, I share in the book too, one day it was really windy, really cold, pouring wet. By the time I get to school, I literally was soaking wet except my head because I got the umbrella, but my everything was wet. My socks were soaking wet. Yeah, so that was what happened because I just could not get on a bus. I would get so sick, and I don't want to be sick on the bus, and because I one time got teased and I just would not want to get on the bus.
Right.
And so, yeah, that was what happened.
I have to just, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but that's how my brain
That's
works. So welcome to inside my head. It's not pretty. Um, it's
okay.
always bouncing. But I figure if I have a question, someone in the audience might have the same question too. So,
Of course.
okay. So looking back, because I know we're not done with your story, but looking back now, do you have resentment that you grew up in those circumstances, or do you have a sense of pride that you know what Hard Knocks is, that you feel like it instilled a lot of value in you and a lot of appreciation and gratitude for the things you've later built for yourself? Which one of those do you think?
Absolutely the latter. Because you cannot resent what is not done to you. It wasn't done to me. I was just born there. We cannot choose where we're born. Like, globally, how would we know? Like now you probably could choose. Now you probably could choose because the parents choose to travel. But whereas back then, it wasn't such a choice. We didn't even know what overseas is. We were like in this little world of our own, right?
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't
kids
like,
today, kids
it
today,
wasn't like, yeah,
they
it wasn't like my parents chose to go there. They were just born there. Well, my father
right.
did in a way. Actually, yes. He was born in China, but it's due to war and his circumstances that he moved to Vietnam. It's not like these days that we choose to go to a certain country to work. We choose to migrate to another country because of our passion of whatever. Life then is really different.
Right.
So I definitely do feel proud that I come from the world of nothing. We literally have no resources, very limited. I literally came from nothing
Mm-hmm.
to now I have literally achieved every single dream I have and lived them all.
That's
and
beautiful.
I cannot be more grateful. I mean, if I didn't come here, I wouldn't have been able to do all of that. But if I didn't come from there, then I wouldn't have the tenacity, the resilience, all of those goodness that built in me,
Yeah.
in the quality and in my character strength to be considered as a character strength.
I think
Because
hardship builds character. I do.
yes,
I believe it does.
absolutely, absolutely,
If we choose to go that route with it, it can also
yes.
destroy us. But I think those of us that are smart enough to choose to let it be a victory instead. But I had to ask you that because kids today, I mean, my own kids included, I had a life lesson with those life-size Barbies my two girls wanted. But I made them put all their stuff when they didn't get something for Christmas that they wanted and they pitched a fit. I made them pack garbage bags and we went to the homeless shelter and I made them give away their toys and say, you think you have it bad? Look. So I wanted to ask that because a lot of kids today would be more resentful that they grew up poor or they grew up without a cell phone. Look at a kid today that doesn't have a cell phone by the time they're age 9. They think they're so neglected and mistreated, you know? So I think it's rare to have someone like you come on and that's been able to really build their life up and look back and have pride in it. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Very
So
sure. So growing up, I did not even have plastic toys. I didn't have any of those. The kids there only play with soils and sticks. The
yeah,
most we had was marble, and that was a precious toy.
a
But
marble.
everything else is all from really creative minds. I would make paper dolls. Very, very basic. Very.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so now that you're in Australia and you're going to school, you're learning English, let's talk about that part of your life. Your high school, like when you graduated, what did you do? What happened with you?
So if you could imagine at the age of 15, I was supposed to be in grade 10. Now, back then, if you do grade 10 exam, it would include grade 9. And then you will be officially, legally qualified to go to work. Not now. Now we have to complete the higher school certificate, which is grade 11 and 12.
Okay.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because I don't even know my basic English. So then I had to do grade 9. Everywhere I go, I have to get the dictionary with me, constantly looking up the words. What does it mean? So it was like that. It was day and night with the dictionary. And it was with a lot of determination that I've got to get this right. I've got to learn it because that was the Bible. We had to. Otherwise, I can't talk to people. Otherwise, I can't tell people what I need. I literally don't know anything. I go to school like this. I was staring at the teacher and I was like looking like where he's going and watching every move to trying to interpret what he say because I don't understand the words. Mm-hmm. So I have learned to communicate with people beyond the verbal language. You have to when you have no language skills. So I literally, my eyes was gluing to the teacher. And so I worked through the last 3-4 years of schooling, and I managed to get enough marks to get into nursing. That I was offered a spot in nursing at university, but I could not do it. That's just not me. I cannot deal with blood. I know you're from medical school, and I bow to you guys, like all the medical professionals. I feel people's pain before they feel it. So that's one bad thing for doing medical, for being a nurse. And then the blood thing, I just cannot do it. But all my whole life, I just wanted to do fashion design. I did not know it was fashion design, but when I was 5 years old, all I wanted to do was make beautiful dresses. And so I made it with paper. I made paper doll and paper dresses and stuff like that. And so, so I did not accept the nursing degree offer. I started the fashion design. It was the very first course of fashion design that I did in Sydney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did you have a love interest at this time?
Yes, yes. So I wanted to be a fashion designer, except I didn't know those terms at the time. So eventually I did open my bridal boutique. And I
Oh,
had, yes, I designed wedding dresses and
that's
evening
fun.
gowns. Yes, and I have my designs in the wedding magazines. I won awards
Wow.
for local business award. That's one of the dreams. That was the very first dream at the age of 5 is I want to make beautiful dresses.
Oh my goodness. So you
Yeah.
became a successful entrepreneur right out the gate, right?
Well, I wouldn't say right at the gate. So that was the first dream, but the first thing I did was actually travel. I got into travel industry. I worked as a travel consultant and I traveled the world, and I've been to Alaska 22 years ago. So that was actually a second dream at the age of 7. When I first saw the colorful photos, I was wondering what America's like, what Australia's like. I just had in the mind that I want to see the world. So I saw the world, that's one dream done. And then I opened the bridal shop after 7 years of traveling.
Wow.
Yes.
You didn't
So
have any
no,
kids during this time, right?
no, not yet, not yet. The
Okay.
kids come after I had the bridal shop.
So do you
Yeah.
still have the bridal shop now?
Oh no, no, that was my baby before my biological baby.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to ask the question now. We're already halfway through the show. It went by so quick. I want you to really tap into your emotions for us. You know, people can't compare their life to someone else's life and try to equate or quantify an amount of adversity, because what's true to you may not be true to someone else. What's heartbreaking to you may not be heartbreaking to someone else, or to me, vice
Absolutely.
versa. So, but the whole purpose of this platform is so that we can all learn from each other, right? So I want you to tap into your emotions for me and really think about a time in your life. It might have been what we call a rock bottom. It might have been a pivotal moment that you had to do something better with your life, or go up from where you were. Whatever it may be a secret, a deep dark secret you've never shared with anyone. But whatever it is, I want you to try to think of something that you can share with us. So then you can turn that around and show us how you were able to pull yourself up from it and teach us so that we can learn.
Sure. So growing up, I was always feeling people's emotions. I didn't know the word was empath. I'm an
Impact.
empath as such,
Okay.
right? All I know is I just feel people's emotions a lot. I would see someone in a wheelchair and I feel their pain before they even talk to me. And so I would cry very easily. Friends who know me, my ambassadors, my Three Hearts ambassador, know that I cry very easily. You know, I cry out of joy, I cry out of sadness, I cry very easily. And so growing up, after I come to Australia, well, in Vietnam, I was really shy and very quiet, very
Mhm.
always on my own. So no one even see, no one even know. I was pretty much invisible. But after I come here, then I was constantly being told, you're too sensitive, you know, you're just too sensitive. Like, you know, so it's given me the image that I'm really weak. And
Right.
then on top of that, occasionally I will get the message, oh, stop being a victim. Stop behaving like you're the victim, because I would cry easily.
Right.
And then, so I keep getting that. You know, like I'm sensitive, I'm weak, I cry easily, and I'm being a victim because I cry easily. Like things happen to me all the time, you know, because I cry so easily. But it wasn't exactly how I felt. I truly felt those emotions. You know, to me at the time, I truly feel these emotions. I'm not making myself a victim. I am the victim as
You are
such, you
the
know,
victim. Yeah.
if you want to put it that way.
That's your truth. You felt like the victim.
Actually, it was my reality. You know, I feel it all. I'm experiencing all, but it's not validated because someone view it differently. Until one day, hi Linda. Until that time when my father had a fall at the age of 92. This is 2012. He broke his hip bone. Up until then, he was still living on his own. You know, go out by himself, wash, cook himself is incredible. He broke his hip bone, has to relocate to the hospital, and I had to find a nursing home for him. And at that point in time, someone said it again, stop being a victim. And I was like, oh my goodness, I am not a victim. You know, I'm doing this for my dad. I'm doing everything I could to find the best nursing home for him. That was the moment in time I thought, I am going to stop this. I am going to show them that I am not a victim. I am a victor. Just because I have all these emotions, just because I can share my pain, my compassion, my love, my generosity of my emotions easily, does not make me a victim. And from that moment on, I decided, I make a very decisive decision, that I am going to move on as a victor. And that was what happened. And so then from then on, I still shed my tears. It doesn't mean that I hide it. If you talk to me very bluntly, I still cry very easily. I still get shocked very easily. But I have drawn the strength. Instead of feeling weak, I have turned it into a power of strength, that I could still cry. I could still share my emotions and compassion, but it has become a power of strength instead of the feeling of weakness. And that was what happened.
Okay. So for someone that might be listening, that might feel like they're playing the victim card a lot, or maybe people around them are telling them the same thing, quit being the victim, it's not about you. What would be your first step advice to them to get out of it? Would it be just recognizing that it's not about them, or would it be some other type of advice?
The first step is understand your emotions. Truly, honestly, openly connect deeply to yourself and understand, what are you feeling? Why are you feeling those emotions? And what are those emotions about? What does it really mean? To truly, truly understand it before you can utilize it. So first recognize it, understand it, embrace it. You truly need to embrace it. Then you can turn it into a power of strength. Not until you can truly understand what you're feeling, why you're feeling what you're feeling, and what purpose does it serve. What purpose does it serve what you're feeling? That's when you can turn it into a power of strength. And that's what I did. I truly know that what I was feeling is not all about me. I truly feel other people's emotions and their pain. I truly have the compassion. I truly feel their love. I truly have the love and connection for them. And that's when I could embrace it and say, I'm not going to let this stop me to show it just because I look like I'm crying. People think that I'm weak. It is not true. I truly know for a fact that just because I'm feeling the compassion, you don't have to take me for being weak. Even though I'm very petite. I'm very, very petite as well. And that was another wrong image I give to myself, because physically I'm so petite. I'm very, very petite. And this is my biggest in my life, right? I was always under 40 kilos. Wow. I was very petite. And that's why I gave myself the wrong image, the wrong self-identity, that I'm small build, so I'm sensitive, so therefore I'm weak. But
and your
when
voice
I
is small.
Now my voice is a lot more louder and powerful. To me, this is already powerful. But could you imagine back then how tiny I was? I was tiny. I was invisible. No one can hear me. I cry easily. And so therefore, I have given myself the wrong identity that I'm weak. But once I truly, truly embraced it, know it, I turned it into my own power instead of weakness.
That's beautiful. And it's beautiful that you recognized it, because so many of us go through our lifetime without ever recognizing it. I know people in my circle today that everything that happens, they turn it and it becomes about them. And it's like, wait a minute, this wasn't even about you. This was supposed to be about so-and-so and what happened to their life. But they instantly turn it for whatever reason. So to be able to realize that, you know, your strengths need to be in your lane, your weaknesses are in your lane, and that those lanes all have a purpose, you know, to help someone else down the road somewhere else. But to be able to recognize that victim syndrome, or whatever you call it, and turn that around is incredible. So let's talk about, because we're going to run out of time if we don't keep moving here. Let's talk about, Linda, all the entrepreneurial things that you've done, and your kiddos real quick, bring them into the equation. I know you said you've taught them early on to be philanthropists, and I think that's amazing. But what you said in the intro that you've accomplished everything that you've dreamed of so far. Do you not have any other dreams you want to accomplish?
I do. So one of the dreams is being a fashion designer, open the bridal boutique, travel the world, being a teacher. So I'm still teaching through my books, through coaching. I'm a life coach, a parenting coach, a self-leadership coach. And as an extension of the book, I formed 3 Hearts, which is my nonprofit with
Talk
the
about
vision
that
and
real quick.
with the vision and mission to create a more connected society. So the dream is to have this become reality. It is reality. We are in operation for over a year now. I have ambassadors around the world who help me with that. But to really reach globally at least 1 million people, because we know that when we reach 1 million people, it will not just be 1 million people. Because when you're happy, your children are happy. Your happiness passes on. Your clients, your show, you're being happy on the show and it passes on. So when we reach 1 million people, it will be 10 million people easily.
Wow.
And so it is the power of love. Thank you, Sherry. The power of love. Sherry's been to our meetings, a 3 Hearts meeting. It is to share love and connection, the joy, the positivity and happiness, because the world needs it now. We need it now more than any time.
So it's a nonprofit, and tell me one more time, or maybe in a different way that my brain will get it. Tell me, what is it serving as with 3 Hearts? What does it serve at the nonprofit?
So 3 Hearts stands for love, and heart number 1 is love and connection for yourself. Heart number 2 is love and connection with each other. Heart number 3 is love and connection for the universe. And so, yes. So we created a platform for everyone to be who they are, and which is so aligned with you, being you. Yes. So we just get together, just be us, be who we are, just to share our highlights, our lowlights, our challenges, because more and more people are becoming so busy that we don't even have someone to share our life with. Even though you have your husband and wife, you go about your job and then you come home, you have kids to attend to. You don't really get to talk about what you do. And then after so many days, it's like, you tune out from each other. You don't even hear each other anymore. So it's a place where we all get together to share, to be who we are, to just show up to be who you are.
Wow. It sounds like we need to collaborate, because it sounds like it's almost exactly like my Be That One group.
Yes, it is. And that's probably why we're drawn to each other, because we hold similar value. It's an innovative way of addressing mental health, not mental illness, but mental health.
Right.
The goal is to maintain your status of wellness moving forward so that you continue to flourish. Instead of wait until you get burnt out, then you become isolated, and then all the downward spiral of emotions. So the idea is to hold you when you're good, to continue to flourish. And then it prevents you from the downturn of, getting hit, and then, getting hit with bad emotions, and then you go downward. That's the idea.
Yes. Okay. Sounds beautiful. Yes. So tell us about your book, and where we can get it, and tell us a little bit about what's in it, and how we can value from reading it.
So many writers had become authors after they read the book. They feel encouraged to write their own. It shares what true happiness is. On the surface, it's all about connection and your personal happiness. There's layers. There's layers to the book, and it shares what true happiness is. Leads people to understand. Like many people are so well off and so successful, but they share with me there's this little hole in their heart that they're still not entirely happy. Mm-hmm. And so it's like a journey. When you read through the book, you go through a journey, and different people get different tips, different ways. One entrepreneur, he's got multiple companies. He's a really successful multimillionaire. And there's only one thing that he read from the book that he took and he applied. And he started a new company, and he grew fastest. He grew to 30 staff in the fastest compared to all his other company. And that was applying only one thing, and that is to connect with nature. Because I share with readers that connecting with nature is the most healing, immediate, powerful thing, and simple, that propel you forward to anything you do. If you ever have any questions, just go to nature. That's where the answers is.
That's what I did this weekend. I went
Yes,
camping in nature.
he was really dedicated. He does it every day after reading the book, and he said he grew his company the fastest, from 0 to 30 staff compared to other company. He said it's the fastest. So there's different. It's literally a storybook. It's a storybook. It's not your usual steps how to. It's a storybook. I initially wrote it for my children because they never got to meet my mom, but because of 3 cases of death, that caused me to give me the message that I need to share with the world. So when you read it, it's quite personal.
Yeah.
And it's got just different stories of how to make things work when things don't work. So you might resonate with one story, somebody else might resonate with another story. There's all different messages, there's quotes. And for people who sees the deepest message beyond, like, we're all seeking for purpose, the bigger purpose. Why are we here? What are we here for? Right? So the deepest message is how you access inner peace.
Inner peace?
And how we can inner peace.
Okay.
That's where true happiness resides, because you could have the $1 million, the $1 billion, and if you might still not be happy. So what true happiness is, and the deepest message too for those who see it, it's how we can access world peace as well. That is the deepest message.
Wow. So that all kind of connects right back around like your 3 hearts.
So yes, I have the world-renowned professor, the first professor on intellectual capital from Lund University in Sweden. He loves the book, and he loves 3 hearts. And so therefore he has offered himself to be our advisor.
Oh, wonderful.
So there's many layers to the book. It depends on what you want to see. So many readers read it many times, again and again. Each time they read it, they see a different message that resonates with them.
Okay. So Linda, if someone wants to reach out to you, how would they do that? Is this how?
Yes, on my website, you can get a free introductory chapter to the book. You can email me there, or you can get in contact with me through Facebook. I also have Linda Duong author Facebook page, and Link Coaching. It's also my other page for coaching business.
It's called Link, L-I-N-K?
Yes, Link Coaching.
And is it .com?
linkcoaching.com.au. There's a Facebook page as well, yes.
Okay. So what kind of coaching do you do, Linda?
So I help it's self-leadership and parenting coaching. So I have helped clients from as young as 5 to 7 years old through to beyond 70, because it's all about you. It's not about a system or sales or anything, but it's all about you. And so it's all about yourself. Any goals you want to achieve, I have helped journalists, parents, grandparents, entrepreneurs, teachers, CEOs, change makers, all different walks of life.
So when you say it's about goals people want to achieve, what are you coaching them on? A mindset? Is it a change of mindset?
Absolutely. It's not just a mindset, but it's the simplest, quickest way on how to move forward. So I don't go on about mindset the whole time, but it's about, tell me what you want to achieve, and we find the quickest, the simplest, easiest way to move forward. Because everything about me is simplicity. When it's simple, it allows us to take action easier. Mm-hmm. And it's easier to get into action to achieve it.
So is this anything from, like, let's just say an elderly person wants to accomplish being able to walk to their mailbox and back, and a young person wants to accomplish writing a book. So yes, those 2 people, you could help them with the same principle of just getting there the quickest way, right?
With the same principle in terms of mindset, but of course the tools are different. For the old person, the tool is very different than a young person who wants to write a book. Yes, right. So we will look at those. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yes. So that's how you're able to help people all across the board, because it's not a dedicated system. It's kind of tailored to them individually.
It's your inner system. It's your inner compass and your inner system. It is about mindset, but I don't go full on talking just about mindset. I focus more on action. action steps
Wow.
to move people forward easier, quicker.
Well, that's great. So so in 2021, Linda, what is something that Linda wants to accomplish?
Something I want to accomplish is we would like to grow 3 Hearts to at least 30 ambassadors, and also to grow link coaching into a platform where we can actually serve a lot more people, where we have all different kinds of coaching services. We will have different kinds of coaches to serve: relationship coach, parenting coach, business coach, all different kinds of coaching services that you can come to us, and we have different experts to serve.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
And you said you wanted to, I just totally went blank. I'm sorry for that.
That's okay.
The first goal that you had was, remind me again what you said.
To grow to at least 30 ambassadors.
Ambassadors. Okay.
Yes.
That was my
yes.
question. So what exactly is an ambassador, and what does it take to be an ambassador, and why is 30 important?
Yeah. So what it takes to be ambassadors is just for heart-centered individuals who would love to share positivity with the world, who would love to share connection, joy. Very simple, to be a heart-centered person, to care for others, who love to contribute in the easy, simplest way. And that's what it takes. And in terms of the role is, of course, to share the mission of 3 Hearts is to create a more connected society. And you help to invite people to the meetings, and eventually you get to grow as a leader in your own. You will grow your own group, and you lead your own group. Essentially, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Why 30? Because we don't want to go too fast, too quick. We want to aim for quality instead of quantity. We did have 16 last year, but a lot of ambassadors, life changes, things happens. Mm-hmm. So we have now down the number, and that's okay. When those ambassadors are ready, they will join us. They'll be active again. But we want a solid team to move forward more solidly. And we're also planning a global conference, if so-called God willing, if you could put it that way.
That sounds great. So those sound like attainable, measurable goals you've got going.
Yes.
I wish you all the success with that. I'm going to start wrapping this up. I just want to make sure the audience knows, if they want to reach out to you, that they can reach out to you on your website. And if they're interested in coaching with you, that they could go through the website or through this link, coaching.com as well, correct?
Or just email me, linda@lindaduong.com.au. I'll reach out on Facebook. So
Linda@lindaduong.
So linda@lindaduong.com.au.
Okay, make sure I got this right up there for you. Does that look right?
Yes, lovely. Right. Thank you. Yay.
You're welcome. Okay, sweetie, we got to let you go, but thank you so much for being on Dare to Share, and thank you for opening up about your childhood and the hardships and all the things, and for recognizing that those hardships built character and made you who you are. And I just thank you for sharing transparently with us today about that.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
Thank you. If anybody have any questions, just put it down and I'll try to answer as much as I can.
Yep. And you and I need to collaborate. We need to talk. And
yes,
we're in 2 different areas of the world, but we're going to have to find space to make it happen, because these things don't happen by accident. And I'm a true believer of that.
And especially when we're in different part of the globe, that's how we can connect and create a better world together. That's how we can create a more connected society together.
Yes. Sherry says it's an amazing book, your book. So
thank you, Sherry. Glad you enjoy it.
Linda said, wonderful show. Thank you, Linda, for that. Thank you all for being here. All right, Linda.
I'll share some testimonials with everyone after the show, so everyone can enjoy it.
Thank you for that. Awesome. All right, Linda. Bye-bye. Thank you. All right, you guys, that was Miss Linda all the way from Sydney, Australia. She's a beautiful, beautiful heart, beautiful soul. You can just feel the inner light coming out of her. At least I do. And it's because I'm receptive to it and I'm open for it. So think about that in your life. If you walk around bitter and sour, and I know this, I'm speaking from experience because I used to be this person. If you walk around with a chip on your shoulder and you feel like life did you dirty, or if you walk around thinking people owe you stuff, or just that you're not as good as other people, or you're never going to be good enough, or whatever it is, that cloud you've got over you, I want you to just take a minute and reevaluate your life, and just think about what Linda was talking about, those 3 hearts and the connections, that you make with yourself and with the world and with each other, and figure out if you're the problem, because oftentimes I think we are our own problem. We block a lot of our blessings. We block a lot of the beauty in life because we put out negativity. So I really want you to think hard about what you can do personally to make changes in your own life. Stepping up and recognizing if you have a sour attitude, recognizing if you're always rushing to the negative outcome instead of even entertaining the possibility of something positive coming from it. And after you've recognized it, start trying to figure out what you can do to change it, because life is short, you guys, and we need to make the best of it. And I feel, after living a life that I lived and then living a horrible life of just self-punishment, basically, of things I did to myself and the kind of lifestyle I allowed myself to live in. And now on the other side of that adversity, learning about gratitude and love and self-forgiveness. I truly believe that the best part of life is when you live it for others and you give from a genuine place of your heart. So if you're tired of walking around feeling sorry for yourself, if you're tired of walking around feeling like the world's got it out for you, then just give it a try. You don't have anything to lose. Give it a try. Try to start recognizing some of your behaviors and see what you can do to change it. All right, you guys, I love you all so much. Thank you for another great, wonderful episode of Dare to Share. Thank you, all my faithful fans that have been here week after week, episode after episode, always here learning with us, always here growing, your beautiful comments. I can't thank you enough for helping grow Dare to Share. My personal goal for 2021 is to just get my Right to Ignite empowerment retreats off the ground, if COVID will allow me to, because I do believe there will be some true healing that goes on those women's retreats. And I'm looking forward to it. I feel like that's going to be my calling. And my 5-year goal with Dare to Share with Mistie Lane is going to be to have my own TV show. I kind of want to be that nowadays Oprah. Back when Oprah came on TV, nobody was talking about their secrets. Everything was hush hush. Everything was pretend. It looked good from the outside. And Oprah had a way of letting people feel comfortable enough about themselves to share to benefit others. And then it went away for a long time. And we kind of got back in this world of pretend, or, we want to put on a show, or we want to pose in front of that Porsche that's not even ours, or pose in front of that mansion and post it on social media when the backstory is, you lost your entire family over that mansion, or your family's homeless over the notes you're paying on that Porsche. That's the real stuff. So my dream is to get Dare to Share back on the TV screen, on syndicated TV, to help millions of people open up and learn how transparency can change their life, and let them know that it's okay to be who they are in the skin they're in, and love themselves through all of it, because we can all overcome our worst to live our best. So that's my goals. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. And until next week, Mistie Lane out. Bye.